All right, we're in Cullman, Alabama. It's a beautiful place. We're going to spend the evening here. And Monday morning, I'm going to be here. This is going to be my first tour of the courthouse. I'm going to do all 67 counties. I'll be doing that, getting my petition signed for governor, talking about the Alabama solution, and talking about my book that I wrote. I'm kind of partial to courthouses. I wrote a book about courthouses, courthouse politics in Morgan County. Let's see. All right, so we're going to talk about it. Let's see. On the first chapter, let's see, second chapter, third chapter in my book on page 24. Let Stacey Lee George get it. Walmart, Amazon.com, Books A Million, Author House, a lot of places. You can Google it. Let Stacey Lee George do it. Okay, so let's see. Let's go through some of this stuff. Okay, so corruption always has a face on page 24. Morgan County, they had a lot of corruption going on. Let's see. Trash to treasure. The county commissioners were keeping all the leftover, well, not all the county commissioners, but some of them forgot to turn in their scrap metal money. And so we talked about that. Okay, talked about politicians going to the beach, how much travel they spend. That's one of the chapters. That's page 34. On page 42, it's the sheriff of the shark. That's where the sheriff in Morgan County went to jail and had to eat every meal in a federal prison because he didn't adequately feed inmates. He pocketed the food money. Let's see. The garbage director gave her sister free garbage in another county. She was getting free garbage. I laid in the ditch, took a picture of that, and she got an ethics violation on her. Okay, let's see. The revenue commissioner had trouble in Morgan County reconciling her money when she traveled to mainly Jackson County. We got a story about her. It said, "I'm headed to Jackson," like old Johnny Cash. I think it's Johnny Cash. I think that's who sang that song. Okay, the maintenance director, he liked to get paid on call, not even going to work, so we fired him. We had the chairman had porn on his email county computer. He got in trouble. He didn't go to jail, but boy, it made a mess in Morgan County. Bentley, this ethics complaints in here I filed against Governor Bentley. This had nothing to do with the courthouse. Same thing's going on in Montgomery. I filed those. Jim Ziegler and I testified against him, and they used the ethics complaints that I made verbatim, and he was removed from office. Then we got Governor Ivey for a decade. I don't even know if I should have done that, honestly. I look back at that and go, I don't know. Bentley wasn't so bad. All right, so then we fought over these public records, okay? But on that email scandal we had in Morgan County, the chairman got the porn. I was the chairman pro tem, so he turned everybody's computer in, but the sheriff and revenue commissioner didn't want to turn theirs in, but everybody else did, and it looked terrible. They changed the locks on the doors, and I had that email server. It brings back memories running at these courthouses. I had that main server in my hand. I'd copied the disk, and I wasn't brave enough to take that server with me because I was concerned it had NCIC information on it. I wasn't law enforcement at the time. Of course, since then, I've been a 13-and-a-half-year correction officer. I'm not APO certified anymore because I had to leave that job so I could talk about corruption in the state of Alabama, okay? ADOC, a lot of corruption. Courthouses, state of Alabama, the corruption everywhere. And if we could get this corruption taken care of in all these courthouses and all these city halls and all these, the state of Alabama, we could send everybody a check back. You know, Trump talks about sending checks back, and he does, or talks about he's going to and things, but I can send checks back as the governor of Alabama. You know how much money they steal at these courthouses, waste? A lot of corruption. We can put some things in place, but I'm going to propose putting 67 ethics commission law enforcement in every courthouse in the state of Alabama. You know how many we have now? We have 5. We're going to use those 5 watching the state legislature and watching me, the governor. I tell you something else we're going to do. We're going to restore the power that was taken when Don Siegelman was in and Steve Windham won lieutenant governor. They ripped all the power away from the lieutenant governor. We're going to restore the power to the lieutenant governor that he had. We're going to restore the power to the lieutenant governor. And everybody knows in the state senate and everybody knows in the state house what that means. They really know in the state senate. But the lieutenant governor is going to have power again. Not one person needs to have all the power. The governor doesn't need to have all the power. The state legislature doesn't need to have all the power. It needs to be split up because we might have a bad apple in some of those areas, and nobody needs absolute power. So we're going to redistribute that power. We're going to have 67. We're going to have one ethics law enforcement officer, works for the Ethics Commission, in every county. Some of them's going to have more than one county, more than one, because Jefferson County's big, Huntsville's big, Madison County, Mobile. But we're going to move around, but we're going to have one assigned to it. And let me tell you what the Ethics Commission member is going to do. He's not going to eat with one county commissioner, one judge, one DA, one nobody. Okay? If I catch him eating with them, we're going to fire him. Okay? Because I want somebody to go in here and watch all these folks, and by watching them in these courthouses, city halls, and water department, and electric boards, and all that stuff, it'll save the taxpayers millions of dollars just having somebody watching. So be ready, because what we're going to do is we're going to put the spotlight on every courthouse in Alabama, every city hall. And we're going to put it on Montgomery, the legislature, and everybody else too. So y'all be ready, because when you say let George do it, I got a team going in that's going to clean up from the courthouse to the state house in Jesus' name.